and you'll find these words. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back to verse 17. Verse 17 says, Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come ye up out of the Jordan. And it came to pass when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come up out of the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priest's feet were lifted up unto the dry land, that the waters of the Jordan returned to their places, and flowed all over all his banks as they did before. And the people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day, at the first month, and encamped in Gilgal, in the eastern border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he said unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in times to come, saying, What means these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan from before you until ye had passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us until we had gone over, that all the people of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord, that it is mighty, and that ye may fear the Lord your God forever. Just for a few minutes today, I want to talk to y'all on the subject of how we made it over. How we made it over. How we made it over. There, in everything that God does, God generally does it in threes. God always has a plan, God always has a purpose, and God always has a promise. Oftentimes in our lives, we often forget the plan, and we often are not familiar with the plan and the purpose, but we are familiar with the promise. We often ask ourselves and talk to people about what God has told us he's going to do, but we're oftentimes stuck in a place of not understanding, you know what, when are you going to move for us, God? When are you going to take us to the next level, God? When are you going to stop my enemies from hurting me? When we get in the promise phase, we begin to ask God some stuff because we're not understanding the plan. And if you know anything about the Exodus from Egypt, the Israelites were forced to be in bondage for misbehaving. In other words, you know, like we do sometimes, we mess up some stuff, we don't get it together, and so God has to punish us sometimes. And young folks, I want y'all to understand, sometimes in your life, the acts that you do will cause you to sit in some places for a while God works on you. Can I tell y'all something? God worked on me for a while in my life, and he's still working on me. But what I found out when we look back over these texts, when we look at Joshua chapter 4, if you read it in entirety, you'll find out something that God gave Joshua a plan. A plan for how he was going to fulfill a promise that he made long ago. First, I must tell you that when you look at this text, you got to understand that God's plan is just this: to save us. Save us from ourselves most of the time, and save us from this wicked world. God wants us to understand that his plan for us was written before we were even born. Jeremiah 29:11-14 says, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will ask me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will bring you back from captivity. In other words, the plan of salvation is God's first part of this here. The plan of salvation is to bring you home, to bring you back into relationship with God. We often forget about our relationship with God when things are going good. If you don't remember, just think about the Israelites before they went to Egypt. They had forgotten about God. They had started doing all kind of crazy stuff. They had got the big head. In other words, they had started to think that they were God's gift to the earth. And in actuality, they were just messing up. But you know how we are when we messing up, y'all. When you're really messing up, you begin to think you're more than you are. Can I just tell y'all something? When you're really messing up, when you're really down and doing stuff wrong, you begin to think that you are more important than you are. And can I tell y'all something? There's a man that I know who used to say these things to people. I will let God do what God's going to do. And I got a plan for when God messes up. Have you ever heard anything that crazy? I just want to tell y'all that was y'all pastor, y'all. I used to have a backup plan for God. I said, if God fails, I'm going to take care of it on my own. But can I tell you something? After a while, God will let you go down these roads, down these pigeonholes, and try this stuff, and you'll find yourself in the midst of a mess, and that your backup plan will not work. Most of the time, when we have a backup plan of what God is doing, it's because we have not done what God has told us to do, and we're looking for an exit strategy when what we decide to do gets kind of funny. I don't know about y'all. I found myself in some messes in life. I found myself that messed up some stuff. I found myself not studying sometimes and going to school and praying that God was going to give me the knowledge that the Lord had told me to study. Sometimes in your life, friends are going to influence you to do things, but God is not going to bail you out every time you mess up. Sometimes you got to have a punishment time. But in the plan of salvation, God took into consideration when you mess up. Somebody get that later on. In the plan of salvation, God took into consideration when you messed up. In other words, when you made a mistake and when you've done something wrong, because God is a forgiving God, He's placed something on the altar that will allow you to be able to be reconciled back with Him because you messed up. But you have to do some stuff. In the plan of salvation, you have to come back to the Lord. And oftentimes when we look at these texts like this, we don't realize that God has already worked out the plan. He's just working out the man or woman in the plan. God oftentimes tells man what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. But man oftentimes wants to do it his own way. You know, the GPS and the map said go left, but your friend told you a side road that you could take. You know, the GPS says you got to turn right at mile marker number 7, and you just keep on riding because somebody told you that if you go that different direction, it'll work itself out. But I found out if you follow God, you won't have to worry about getting lost because you'll be where you're supposed to be all the time. I found out that in God's plans requires you to take some action and to move in certain directions. I found out that God's plan, the way it is because God, He knew that He was going to call you to do some stuff, and because He knew He was going to call you to do some stuff, He planned ahead for you. All right. I don't know about y'all, but I appreciate God's plan. Because when I look at God's plans in my life, and I look at where I would have been if I had not followed the plan of God, I would understand that I would be somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. Everywhere you find yourself at, God already knew you would be there. Every destination that you reach, God has already known that you would get there. It's just how you got there sometimes. Sometimes we make our own plans and go to places. It's more difficult to get where God's trying to go or take us when we fighting God. That's the plan. But then there's the purpose. Purpose is what you are ordained to do, what you're called to do, where you're supposed to be at. Purpose is that point in your life where you know when that switch clicks on, you say, this is what I was called to do. Oftentimes we are working in somebody else's purpose and not the purpose God has called us for. You know, oftentimes you want to be in the choir, but you can't sing. God did not call you to sing. God does not even want you to sing. As a matter of fact, God is telling you don't even hum in church because you don't have those gifts and talents. But you get angry at folks who are humming and singing in church because you want to be like them. Be who God called you to be and live in your purpose. You see, I knew a long time ago what my purpose was, but I decided I was going to take a different plan. I decided that I was going to be a lawyer because I wanted to have the power to walk into a room, y'all, and shut folks down. I wanted people that when I walked into a room to know my name as a lawyer, and when they saw me, they trembled with fear. Ain't that crazy, y'all? But sometimes in our lives, we want to make ourselves ourselves just like God. We want to be so big and so powerful. And God said, no, that's not your purpose. You're called to help and talk to people and to encourage people, not to tear them down. That's your purpose. You can't live somebody else's purpose. Or sometimes God will let you go down the road a little ways. Sometimes God will let you go into these things. Sometimes God will let you see what you want to be instead of what God called you to be. Sometimes God will let you visualize you being in these situations and doing this great stuff. But God is saying that's not for you. I got something else for you, y'all. Children, I want y'all to understand something. Don't let nobody take your purpose away from you. Because God has called each and every one of you guys to do something. Something that nobody else can do like you do. God has called you to go places and where other people can't go. God has given each and every one of y'all access to something that nobody else can do. I declare to y'all today, somebody's a lawyer and a doctor in this church. There are some school teachers. There are some great artists in this church. There are some folks who are going to create some things that the world needs in this church. But you can't do it if you let your friends tell you your purpose. Friends will give you the wrong purpose in life. Friends will tell you you're supposed to be a captain of a ship and you don't even like water. Friends will tell you you're supposed to be the next Michael Jordan and you can't dribble. Friends will tell you you're going to be the next Tupac and you can't put two words together. Friends will do that to you. Friends will mess your purpose up because they want you to think that they want you to be like them. But I want you to be like who God called you to be. You ain't got to try to be like Jordan. You ain't got to be like LeBron. You can be like whoever God called you to be like. You can't do what they do because that ain't what God created you for, because that was their purpose. Purpose. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God. To them are called according to his purpose. In other words, your purpose is just that. God calls you into your purpose. And whenever God calls you into your purpose, you got to live your purpose. You got to get up in the morning when God speaks to your purpose and start going after your purpose. Not to be moved, not to be worried, but just go after your purpose. If God called you to be a great football player and that's your purpose, you can use that purpose in ministry. Anything God has purposed you to do is for ministry and not to watch this, y'all. It ain't for me. It ain't about me, y'all. It's about what God called me to do. In other words, my purpose in life is just that, what God wants me to do. Not what I want me to do, not what my mama said I was supposed to do, but what God said for me to do. My purpose. But notice, when they were going across the water, God had already gave them the plan. Pick up some stones and carry them to the other side. He'd already told them that the stones had a purpose. I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up, my father had strange ways of punishing us. Mine specifically was, he made me do manual labor. Whenever I did something wrong, he wanted me to teach me a lesson about being committed or faithful to something. He would have me move a pallet of bricks from one side of the yard to the other side of the yard. And I would hate that. So I would devise all kind of ways to do it faster. Not realizing that the purpose that he was trying to teach me was to be committed, not to find a slick way to get out of it. And so every time I would move the pallet of bricks from one side to the other side, he'd say, do it again. And after a while, I figured out that if I just take my time and do it right, instead of trying to get over, it'll work out better. Somebody get it in a few minutes. In other words, all the times I'm carrying 2 buckets of bricks over there, trying to do it in a hurry and to get through with it, my father was telling me, listen to Ben, you made a mistake. There's some problems in your life. You messed up some stuff. But the purpose of this lesson is that you learn how to go through some stuff. Young people, everything that you do has consequences. Every friend that you hang out with got problems. Everybody that you tell your secret ain't gonna keep it. Everybody say your friend ain't your friend. Everybody that you see at school who look like they're doing all right, some of them got some problems in their life. But God's purpose for you is to encourage everybody. Anybody you find down, you got to encourage them to go on. So yes, that was the plan of salvation. And then that was the purpose for salvation. And the purpose for salvation is for us to get our relationship right with God. Amen. Our relationship with God is based on John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed him should not perish but have everlasting life. God wants you to know that he's working out a plan and a purpose for what you're supposed to do. But you can't allow people to destroy your purpose. You got to walk in what God has called you to do. Now, I'm almost done. I'm going to go and sit down in a few minutes. But the last thing, which some often say is the first thing, was the promise. God's promise to them was written in a manner that says this, that when your future descendants find themselves in troubling times, they don't need a place to come to, a place to remind them of everything that has gone on. They don't need something to help them understand how they got to where they're at. God is never slack in his word. God told them to select one male from every tribe. And tell them, watch this y'all, to not only after they cross over, but to go back in. And to pick up a stone and to carry it out with them. I want to let y'all know I'm not the smartest person, but I know that some folks probably asked, why? Why do I have to go back into the water? I already crossed over. You know how we get when we get in that position. Why did you pick me, Lord? Why do I have to go back in there? Because it's purpose for you. And I got a plan and a promise for you. But God told them when they went back in to grab these boulders and to bring them up, and Joshua said this, he said, we're going to stack them on the banks of the Jordan so that when people show up later on in life, that they will be sure to know how the 12 got over. Oh yes, if you know anything about Exodus, you will notice that all of the tribes had issues. When Joseph's daddy died, he identified the issues. He talked about the ones that were high-minded and heady. He talked about the ones who had commitment problems. He talked about the liars and the thieves. He talked about all those things, but God wanted them to go back and cross over so they could understand that through it all, God was with them. Through all their troubles and their struggles, God was with them. But he said to them, I promise you this, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to provide for you. And I believe everybody here today has a stick in their hand. Did everybody have a stick? I want you to take your stick and lift it up. Hold your stick up high so I can tell you how you're going to make it over. How you're going to make it over is not tied to who your friends are. It's not tied to what church you go to. It's not tied to your degrees on the wall. It's not tied to your job. How you going to make it over is just like the Israelites made it over. The text, you go back to Exodus, it said that, and Deuteronomy, it said that their clothes and the shoes did not wear out. It said they were fed from manna from on high. The way you going to make it over in this life is you got to stick with Jesus. You got to stick with the Lord. And if you stick with the Lord, it'll be all right, y'all. Somebody wondering here today why he has a popsicle stick. Because you can carry his popsicle stick with you. You can put it in your purse. And when times get hard and things get rough, you can remember what Joshua had to do when he had to cross over on a commitment from God that he was going to take him to the child? Is there anybody that's an only child in here? You're an only child right there. Let me tell you about only children. Only children are loved by their parents. That are treasured by their parents. Just like God treasured Jesus. But he made up his mind to let Jesus die for each and every one of us. I can tell y'all right now, I got 3 children. I'm telling you right now, y'all, I wouldn't sacrifice one of my own children for me. But God told me to tell you, if he'll sacrifice Jesus for somebody like me, he'll sacrifice him for somebody like you. I'm going to stick with Jesus. I'm going to work this thing out, y'all. But I just stopped right away to tell you, don't worry about the plan, because God has already worked out the plan. Don't worry about the purpose. He's already given you a purpose. You ought to know this, that it's in the promise. The promises of God is that he's going to come back one day looking for a church without spot, a church without wrinkle. And I declare to y'all today, I'm going to sit there waiting on him to come back, because I know something that y'all may not know, that Jesus was beaten and bruised, not only talked about, but my Bible says that he did not become angry or dismayed. He did not worry. My Bible said that he did something. He did something that he could have said no to. My Bible says that he dropped his head in the rocks of his shoulder and he died. He died for you. He died for me. He died for everybody. But all you gotta do is stick with the one who died for you, because he's coming back to get you. He made it over because there was a plan, there was a purpose, and there was a promise. But you don't qualify for those things if you don't stick with Jesus. If you don't stick with Jesus, you don't qualify for that plan. You qualify for a different plan then. You qualify for the plan that will send you straight to hell. I know y'all probably get discouraged when people say hell, but we need to tell all old and young. Just like they say heaven is real, hell is too. And if you ain't living right, if you ain't doing right, you're going to go to hell. I want you to be afraid today. I want you to be concerned today. Because if you don't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, you're hell-bound. Young friends, I don't want you to go to school and try to use these words, but I want you to know, if you don't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, you qualify to go to hell. You got a certificate with your name written on it, unless you make a change. So I encourage each and every one of us to stick with Jesus. If you stand.